What's going on, everybody? My name is Dylan Finley. I am the Unknown King, and I'd like to graciously welcome you to the channel. Today I'm going to be taking you through how I made my latest single, Nature Boys, featuring Monroe. I'm going to outline the general inspiration of the song, as well as show you what I did, how I did it, and why I did it. So if you like what you see, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I know I'd appreciate all the support I can get at this point. This is the first time I'm sitting down like this and filming my own video content, and I want to do more of this sort of thing in the future. So when you do subscribe, be sure to also hit the notification bell so that you get notified when I post a new video. So without further ado, this is how I made Nature Boys. Woo! So first, I'd like to explain exactly what you're looking at right now. This is a software called Reason, from a company called Reason Studios, which formerly was Propellerhead Software. These guys are out of Sweden, and this is a software that I've been using for 10 plus years, pretty much ever since I started experimenting with recording my own music. This is a place where I can get an idea down really quickly. It's something that I know pretty much like the back of my hand at this point in my life. And with the exception of my Shine Forever EP, which was done in Logic, everything I've ever released was done right here. So in case you weren't aware of this fact beforehand, this song is a tribute to Ric Flair. If you're not a wrestling fan, then you're probably asking yourself, who the heck is Ric Flair and why is he important? However, if you are a wrestling fan, then you know how important he is to the industry. He was one of the best shit talkers to ever lace up boots. He was one of the best performers that the industry has ever seen. He's a legend, he's an icon, and he absolutely deserves all of the accolades. This song came about around a time when he wasn't doing so well physically, and there was some concern that he'd pass away. I wanted to make sure that, as a fan of pro wrestling, that I gave him his flowers while I still could. So I sat down and I got to work. When I sit down at the studio and try and come up with an idea from scratch, I usually put everything I record into a 4-bar loop, save it as something memorable, and come back to it later when I have the inspiration and time to build it up some more. These can be anything from a drum loop, a chord progression, a melody, a hook, any mixture of those things. And this song is actually 3 of these ideas coalescing into one song. So the earliest of these ideas that I used for this song is actually this drum loop right here. In the song itself, it's pretty buried in the mix. It jumps out every once in a while. This is from a file that I named SummerSlam 2016. I named it as such because I made it before SummerSlam 2016, which happens to be the first wrestling pay-per-view or any sort of wrestling whatsoever that I watched. So when I resolved to make a song about wrestling, I wanted to make sure this drum part was in there. It was originally at a much faster tempo. I don't remember offhand how fast, but kind of slowed down to this 92 BPM that we have here. It is kind of lurking and ominous, and I think it has a pretty cool vibe where it sits. So the next of these ideas to be integrated into the song is this drum loop right here. Believe it or not, that's actually a synth preset. It's on Reason's Maelstrom synth, which is one of their older software synths and one that comes with Reason. and it actually dictated the tempo of the song. When I was messing around with it, it didn't sound all that good, either really fast or really slow. I needed to find that sweet spot where it just flowed together, and that ended up being 92 BPM. I named the file Trashing the Camp in honor of the song from the Disney Tarzan film. And I threw it in this song because Ric Flair was a trash talker. And I know it's a little on the nose to throw a trash can sound into a song about a trash talker, but I stand by that decision because I felt like it was a really neat accent to the drums and just kind of a unique sound to have in there that kind of sets it apart from other songs like this. So that is why I threw that one in there. So the idea that really got this song going for me was the chord progression that I used in the intro as well as in between the verses and choruses. It's something I actually came up with at work one day, quite serendipitously actually. I knew it sounded awesome. I knew it was going to work for the song because in my opinion it has the grandeur of Ric Flair's entrance music, and it's something that I knew I needed to get down as soon as I could. So as soon as I got home, that's pretty much what I did. For all you theory people, it's in the key of C sharp minor. I'm actually going to play it for you. I have the string patch loaded up, which by the way is just a basic NN19 string patch, default in Reason. So it sounds a little something like this. From there, all I really did with the progression was arrange it across the keyboard for some fullness, and I added the brass patch from NN19 for some heft, and you have the harmonic backbone. The only other things I have on this song are this 808 part that I designed to have a really mustard Tyga Rack City sort of feel. And this drum break that I threw some reverb and distortion on to kind of give it a Travis Barker Blink-182 sort of feel. When it came to writing my verse on this song, I originally had something very different in mind. Something that was more of just a general tribute to wrestling. I know a line that I still really like from that draft is savage like Randy, rowdy like Roddy, lunatic like Dean, and I'm rude like Bobby. So the thing that made me switch was Tyson. I was talking to him about the song, and he was telling me how his verse was written from the perspective of Rick himself. And he suggested that I try and do the same with my verse. So I took that suggestion, I wrote the verse that I wrote for the song, and I still have to say I like it so much better than what I originally wrote. It just fits with the song better. It fits with Tyson's verse much better. And it kind of really gave it this cool dynamic where I was the cool, calm, collected side of Rick, and Tyson was the crazy, bleeding from the forehead Rick. So Tyson is someone who I've known for a very long time. We basically grew up together. He was always a year ahead of me in school. He currently lives in Florida while I'm sitting up here in Wisconsin. And there's just so much I owe to him, so much good that he's brought into my life. He got me listening to rap, he got me rapping, he got me making beats, he got me watching wrestling, and most recently he got me into DDP yoga and set me on a path to better my lifestyle. So He's definitely someone who I consider a good influence and a very close friend of mine. So I knew that when I made a song about wrestling, he had to be. Tice's verse actually came to me as an iOS GarageBand file. It was actually my idea to have him record it on the phone since he didn't have a computer at the time. I've always been really fascinated with the iOS platform as it pertains to making music, and I wanted to give myself the challenge of mixing something that came from an iPhone microphone since it is notoriously bright and very present. The secret weapon here was absolutely Isotope RX. That is the best software you can buy for fixing audio, and it single-handedly made me able to throw this recording in the mix. Other than that, all I really did was throw some EQ, compression, a very slight bit of distortion. I still wanted something brash because he told me that he recorded it with the Zach De La Rocha Rage Against the Machine vibe in mind, and I wanted to stick to that, and I feel like I did a pretty good job in making this vocal work with the song. And that was How I Made Nature Boys featuring Flo Monroe. If you liked what you heard so far, I'll link the song in the description for you to listen to the whole thing. You can also find it on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, wherever you prefer to stream music. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I will be making more in the future, so don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you'll be the first to know when I do release a new one. I'll be glad to answer any other questions you might have in the comments. Peace out and keep on rocking.